Talking about enzyme use, and we just talked about home use and use in the body, we're now going to come on to the way that enzymes are used in industry. And there's a few ways, in fact, that industry uses enzymes. And the first is that we should know about is in baby food products. Now, imagine a baby's digestive system. It's not the most well formed, and it's going to have problems digesting certain foods that aren't milk. And that's in fact why a baby will drink milk to start with, because it's so easy to digest, it's a liquid. And as it moves on to solids, what industry does is they use proteases to break down protein and what we call is pre-digest protein to make it easier for the baby to digest food. And so what the proteases have done in baby food is they have had a go at the proteins already. Proteins are actually difficult to break down. Remember, they're made of loads of amino acids. Well, those amino acids in a fibrous protein form are difficult to break down. And so it helps the baby out by kind of loosening the bonds. A bit like, imagine if you gave a knot to a child to untie. It'd be pretty mean if the knot was really tight. And so you might, if you wanted to make it easy, just loosen the knot slightly for the child. And that's what these proteases do. They pre-digest and slightly make the proteins partly digested to make it easier for the baby. The second way that industry uses enzymes is to save money in industrial processes. Now, I, in one of my earlier podcasts, showed you the graph, this is energy, that describes a normal chemical reaction. If you want this reaction to happen, you've got to get over this hill and put this energy in. Often that is regarded as being done by heat. So imagine you have to produce loads and loads of heat. And imagine this was a huge industrial scale where you had to heat up a whole vat of a metal or something. So you are putting in loads and loads and loads of heat in order to get it all the way up there so the reaction can happen. And the other way that they do that is actually to put it under pressure. You may remember the rate of reaction is increased if you increase the pressure, because you reduce the area in which the particles are found in, and therefore they've got more chance of colliding. But once again, if you take something that's that big and then constrict it into something that's that big, that actually takes a lot of money to do. And it's an expensive process. So what enzymes do, remember, is enzymes lower the activation energy of any reaction. And so what happens is, if they've got a lower activation energy in industry, it's cheaper. They don't need so much heat, they don't need so much pressure, and the enzymes, lo and behold, have made the job easier, and the reaction can happen quicker than it would have done, and they can save huge amounts of money by using enzymes as, and this is a key word, as a catalyst. Okay? Enzymes are catalysts. They make reactions speed up. Important thing about catalysts, they don't get used up or changed in the reaction themselves. Okay? They are, do you remember I said they're a bit like, say, a dating agency, where they bring reactants together, allow them to react in a way that they wouldn't have done, and they themselves, though, are not getting involved in the relationship, and they themselves can carry on their lives without being affected by the two people they've just set up. So catalysts speed up reactions, but are not affected themselves. So the last way that enzymes are used in industry is in the diet industry. Now, television goes on and on about low-fat products, but the problem is the human taste sensation is actually very sensitive, and we can actually kind of work out if there's something missing. Because if you taste something that's genuinely low-fat, which hasn't been altered, the chances are it won't taste as good. And so what industry does is it uses enzymes to make syrups which are really sweet and therefore taste better. So what they do is they use the enzymes to turn sugar X into sugar Y, and sugar Y is sweeter. And then they put sugar Y into the low-fat, I don't know, yogurt. And that tastes sweeter. And that is a more concentrated sweetness, and so they can try and make low-fat items taste better. Okay? And enzymes